Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Amy.
Steve. And we just finished playing Fauna, which is a trivia game about animals, essentially. So you're kind of looking at where they are in the world. See, the board here is a giant world map, but also you want to figure out how heavy they are. There's like a scale here. How long or high they are, depending on what kind of animal they are, and how long the tail is, if they have a tail. And each round you have a card. So in this case, it is the Northern Pika. And so you can see it appears in 4 different areas. It's not countries here as such. You see this is like the Horn of Africa, Eastern Sahara, but the world's just been split into different areas. And it's telling us that this Northern Pika is in 4 different areas around the world. We also have to try and guess its weight, length, and tail length. Length is like the body length, and obviously the tail length then is the bit that sticks out from there. So when you go, you have a pile of cubes, and you decide which one of these things you want to go for. So Northern Pika sounds like it's South American to me, so I'm going to go for the north part of South America. I'm going to go for Guyana here. So then it would be Amy's go, and Amy decides, what does she want to go for? She's looking at the scales.
Think it has a tail.
Okay, so she's gone for sort of 0 to 1 centimetres. Incidentally, it can be metric. The other side of the board is imperial, so you've got the choice between metric and imperial. Steve reckons it's in Eastern Europe. Yes, okay. So we'd carry on going like this, and you sort of put a few out. Maybe I think it's this much, and that's right. And we'll stick another one, because stick a cube out, and then maybe put it next to this one here.
Yeah.
Because if you're not exactly right, but you're close, you can potentially get points. So having stuck all the cubes out, maybe, Amy, do you want to stick another cube here, let's say? Because again, you can get points for being next to it. Right, and then we'll look at the answers and we'll see. You can kind of keep going, putting as many cubes out until you want to stop. But then we look at the answers. So it tells us the Northern Pika is in these areas here. Oh, so Eastern Siberia, Far East Gobi Desert, and Western Siberia. So Amy was bang on, and so because it appears in 4 areas, there's a little scoring chart down here. 3 to 4 areas, you get 8 points if you're exactly right, or 4 points if you're adjacent. So let's imagine that Steve had actually gone for Indochina here. So the Far East was one of the correct ones, so Amy would get 8 points here. But because this is adjacent to the Far East, Steve actually, even though he didn't get it right, would still get 4 points. So it's quite nice because you're getting points for being close, not exactly right necessarily. Then we look at the weight. So the metric one is 120 to 175 grams. So this region, 100 to 200 grams, is bang on. So green would get 7 points. You always get 7 points for the correct answers on the scales and 3 points if you're adjacent. But yellow here, but because they're next to the one that was right, they would get 3 points. And you can see there's like a score track around the outside of the board. So you can just go through each of the different things, scoring it up. Did it have a tail in the end? 0.5 to 1.5 centimetres. So you've got a teeny tiny tail. So in that case, both of these regions will be correct. If you'd put it here, you'd get the adjacent points. You play over a number of different rounds. I think you do 6 different animals. You can see the next one up is the Hispaniolan Solenodon. I've no idea what that is. Looks like a kind of mole. So yeah, 6 different animals, and then see who has the highest score. What do we think?
I really like this game. I think the guys say that it's similar to Terra. I haven't played Terra personally, but I think I'd probably prefer to do the animals version. It's really funny when something gets something wrong. Our friend accidentally put that a macaw could be between 5 and 7 meters tall, which we just found hilarious. It was brilliant. And although you get things wrong, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 cube back. So it's just fun guessing sometimes. And then if you kind of twig on, oh gosh, I thought Steve was right, kind of dumping all your cubes in the adjacent areas still gets you points, and you get those cubes back at the end of the round. So I don't really feel like someone could be too hard done by here, because you can kind of use other people's guesses to gauge your own.
See?
It is like Terra. I think I prefer Terra. I think the variation of the questions is a bit nicer than always having an animal. And sometimes when it says the Brazilian long-necked toad, you're like, well, okay, Brazil, and everyone puts the cubes around Brazil. So some of the animals are named after the places they're from, which makes them super easy, and maybe the scoring's not quite balanced, that sort of thing. It's very good, again, if you don't know anything at all, you just go where someone's putting their cubes confidently, because you'll get like those adjacency points. They might have undershot it a bit on one of the lengths, and if you go the one next to them, you might get it right. So you don't need to know everything. In fact, you don't need to know much. You just need to have a general bit of common sense, and playing this game, especially if you're used to measuring things in ounces and stones, playing this thing with people who can't measure in kilograms is actually pretty funny, because they don't know how big a kilogram is. They don't know how big 200 grams is. 200 grams sounds like a big. Oh no, it's really tiny. So you get a few laughs. It's nice. It is a bit of a trivia game where the person who knows the most will always win. It does have this weird, like, reverse catch-up mechanic. in that if you have a good round, not only do you score well, but you retain most of your cubes. And so you're ahead on the board and you've got 5 cubes, so everyone else has got, 3 or maybe 4. So that's a bit weird, but all it takes is one round where they don't know anything and they wildly overestimate things for it to kind of level out a bit.
Rating?
For a trivia game, it's one of the best ones there is. 7 out of 10.
Maybe?
I give it a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I really like the idea. The fact that you can be close, or as Steve was saying, if somebody's confident, you can sort of think, oh, I think they know where it is, I'm going to go near them and still pick up points, is really nice. In terms of like Terra's more general knowledge, general world knowledge, and I do prefer that because I know more about that, I guess. It's just animals in this one. It's animal after animal after animal, and most of them I've never heard of. So if that floats your boat, if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, then this is definitely the one you want to pick up. I also like the fact that, like in terms of the scales and things, it can be really hard to judge actually sometimes, but you've got the picture on the card, which can be quite helpful. Does it have a little tail on it? Does it not have a tail? And that makes it nice. You can kind of judge from the picture apart from everything else for some of the scales, like the length and the weight and things like that. So I think it's very solid. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was Fauna.